when people had to take their children out of school because the schools put the fees up. I mean, now are the schools going to put the fees down now? I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing? What are you doing? I mean, what are we doing? You see, when you are thinking about the children, you see, I heard the Minister of Health, the member for Kalani, say, remember the people, that's right. Remember the people when you're making your decisions. Remember the people, because it is the people you've got to think about, not anybody else. Not about the elections, it's about the people. Remember the people. And Mr. Speaker, that has always been the defining difference between the PLP and the FNM. We've been about the people. We've always said that we believe that you put a roof over the heads of people. That's why the Minister responsible for housing did so well. Jane Gibson, whether you like it or not, the member did extremely well, putting houses and yes. That's why our Minister of Education built so many preschools to get the young children an early start, get them going. More than 30 built during the 5 years, Mr. Speaker. That's why we were talking about health care. We wanted to provide universal health care to ensure that the Bahamians who are dying today, many Bahamians dying today, cannot get into the hospital, cannot get health care, cannot get their treatment. They're dying today. That is why we want a universal health care. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, yes. And I'm glad South Beach said that. Yes, South Beach, you are familiar with our philosophy. Because when you walked with us, you said it so nicely. Wipe away every tear. Every tear. And that's what it's all about. Heal the sick. Guide the youth. Feed the poor. And wipe the tear from every eye. That is the overarching philosophy of the Progressive Liberal Party. And whether you like it or not, and whether you like him or not, Harry Christie led a very effective government for 5 years in this country. Very effective. That is why unemployment was down. That is why foreign direct investment was up. That is why tourism turned around. That is why we had urban renewal and our communities were becoming better. That is why crime was down. Because we had some leadership that allowed the ministers of the government to bring to the table their views, their ideas, and to lead this country. Whether we like it or not, Mr. Speaker, this Progressive Liberal Party did extremely well. And that is why when I listened to ministers speak this week, I'm deeply concerned. I heard the minister responsible for agriculture, the member for Long Island. He spoke about the food crisis in the world. And he said that food is not expected to return to any low levels anytime soon. He said the increasing prices will increase. According to The Economist. You did quote The Economist, but you obviously took it as authority, which is good, and I'm with you. And you talked about the corn and the soybeans, and you said that the demand for ethanol and for the product internally and externally will cause the price of food to increase. Well, if the price of food is increasing, what are we doing about it? What preparation are we making? You get $7.5 million in the budget this year to do what with? 7.5 to do what with? If we are serious today or yesterday or day before yesterday, our focus ought to have been on preparing so that we do not have to deal with the crisis that we were told about 2 years ago when the price of rice and everything went up, when the oil prices jumped. But what have we done about it? That minister could burst this economy wide open. That single minister. I don't care what anybody say. That is the most important ministry right now in this country.